Ich weiß es nicht wirklich. Even though I speak the language is still not enough because people still judge you from what they see already before you even open up your mouth. It just came randomly and stroked my hair, did not say a thing, and just walked away. Today is going to be my first year working in the German company. Usually, for any reason, you could bring cakes to work, and people actually like the fact that you bring goodies to work, and it could be any reason. Yeah, your dog is celebrating its 5th birthday. I'm joking, but yeah, it's gonna be 1 year working in this German company, and I am taking cake with me. Hello beautiful people, I hope you're all doing great. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm gonna be talking about working in Germany. It's already been a year since I started working at an old German speaking company where I've got to communicate with all of my colleagues in German. I mean, some of them do understand English. I do have some flexibility. I mean, during our lunch breaks, I do have some colleagues that do not actually mind me mixing my German and my English with them, because of course there are times that I do lose my words in German. I can't find the word I need in German, so I've got to use English words. So basically this is going to be a video that is dedicated to me having worked in the company for a year now. I did do a video, or like 2 videos, regarding my experiences in the first month or so, as well as 6 months working within the company. I will leave both video thumbnails on the screen as well as in the description box down below. I'm just going to talk about working in Germany as a foreigner. You all know that I am of course a foreigner here in Germany, and I'm just going to honestly talk about my experiences so far. At the moment I'm currently going through a bad phase. I do actually apologize if you can hear noises in the background. It's just that I'm in a hotel right now. Of course this is not my original background, but I'm in a hotel right now and my room is directly located on the streets, and of course behind these streets is a railway, so I'm sure you're going to be hearing some noises in the background, so I do apologize for that. So of course I've been in Germany for 3 years now. My very first job did not require me to speak German at all. For almost a year I was in Berlin. All I needed was my English as well as my French, because I spoke with French and Belgian customers in this very company that I worked in. And afterwards I of course had to learn German, because most of the jobs that you would come across here in Germany requires you to have a basic knowledge of German. And I did a course in the Volkshochschule, like an adult school, where I learned German for 6 months, and right after the course ended I automatically got a job. The company was actually willing to wait for me for I think 3 months. They needed someone immediately that speaks English, French and German, and of course I was still learning German, so they said they would wait for me till I'm done completing my course. So in the end, at the end of 6 months, I got a B1 level of German. So my German, of course, at the moment is not perfect, but I can get by and communicate with customers. I mean, I learned German for 6 months at the adult learning school, and I've been at this company for a year now, so of course my German has dramatically improved. Working in Germany as a foreigner, you do get the opportunity to, of course, improve your language skills when communicating with your colleagues, your customers, as well as being able to use technical words that you wouldn't usually use on a daily basis when speaking basic German to random people on the street. So you, of course, improve your language skills drastically within a very short time frame. At times when you do not understand some of the words that they're saying, some of them would gladly explain to you what they want on layman's language, should I say, like in the most basic way that they could, and from there on you build your vocabulary and it gets better from there. But I must also say that if you want to survive in Germany, you need the language, and it's going to be very, very difficult at first, because the thing is with Germany and being a foreigner here in Germany, you literally have to soak in, like you must be a sponge in order to integrate. You've got to like soak in everything about the culture, the language, the people, the attitudes and behaviors of people here. You literally have got to soak it in order for you to fully integrate. And to be honest, I've been here for in total for like 3 years, and I'm still finding it quite difficult, because even though I speak the language is still not enough, because people still judge you from what they see already before you even open up your mouth. This is like one of the downsides to being a foreigner in Germany. And even though you can speak the language, you understand the culture to a certain extent, for the fact that you've lived in the country for like a very long time, there's still this distance, there's still this gap that you can never fill. It's like a void. It's sad sometimes, but yeah, it's one of the cons of being a foreigner living here after like 3 years and having worked for a full year in a full German speaking company. When I initially started the job, I had a training for 6 months, and of course before I started the job, actually it was a full-time fixed job. So of course in the 6 months training, you've got to show them that you're willing to learn, you're open-minded, and you ask questions as well, but don't be too forward with your questions, because with time you will get to understand how they work. And I'm only saying this because there was a lady, a German lady, that got employed to the company, and she had the same contract as I did, I believe, and she had a 6 months role. She had this compulsory 6 months training, and because she was too forward, always condemning certain company processes. I mean, with time you could express yourself the way you want regarding how you think the company could better itself, but when you're still new, everyone is still quite sensitive towards you, and they're wanting to know your character, your personality. So you coming on super strong in your first month or 2 regarding how you think the company should sort out its processes doesn't make sense for the German company or the people that you're going to be working with, because you barely know the company. And before we knew it, she got fired. Of course, you can ask your questions. Asking questions and being inquisitive isn't a bad thing, but you've got to limit your questions in such a way that you don't come across as being know-it-all. And yeah, she got fired in the end because of her character. And also, it's not like always been roses as well, because I did mention at the beginning of the video that I've been there for a year and it's not been perfect. My 6 months training was okay. There were times it was a struggle due to the language barrier and me learning new things every single day. Every time I came back home, I was always like super exhausted due to the fact that my brain was working times 100 than my other colleagues, because, well, I'm learning new terms, new technical terms regarding the company, and I've got to speak with customers, and it was just like really too much for me too soon to cope with everything. And being based in East Germany, some people can be small-minded, should I say, even within the company in general. And I'm not referring to Berlin, the capital city in Germany. I'm just referring to the cities that are far away from the capital city, and I'm in one of those cities. You guys know that black women in general love to change their hairstyles every 2-3 weeks, maybe a month max, and people at work found it really strange, and they would always comment on the fact that, yeah, you've changed your hair again. What hairstyle have you got right now? Why are you always changing your hair? It got to a point that someone at work just came up randomly at me, someone that I never spoke to. It wasn't in my department at all, and it just came randomly and stroked my hair, did not say a thing, and just walked away. I found that really disgusting, because he wouldn't do that to his fellow white colleagues or fellow female colleagues at all. So what gives him the right to do that to me? Just stroke my hair, stroke me, not say anything, and walk away. Then I spoke with my team leader about it. She said to me that she would go talk to him, but I said it's my job to do so because it directly touched me. And I mean, I had the right to go talk to the human resources about such behavior, but I decided to deal with it personally. And I said to him not to ever touch me. Do not touch my hair. Fass mich nicht an. Es ist ungewöhnlich. And that was the last. And every time he sees me now, he respects my space, and he knows that there's this boundary. I can't just go to him and touch his hair and walk away. It's weird. It's komisch. It doesn't make sense that you would do such to someone. I mean, if you want to touch someone's hair, ask. At least, that's the least you could do. Ask rather than touching, walking away and not saying anything and pretending like you never did anything in the first place. And I've also experienced some form of racism as well. And it's been most recent, actually, hence why my views are seemingly somewhat negative, because this past couple of months have just been really stressful and tiring. I've got some colleagues that just won't shut their mouth. They've got like stereotypical views about me as a person due to my skin tone, and the things they say, you're wondering, really, like, you've lived on this earth for so many years and you've had so many years of work experience. You're in your 40s and you're in your 50s, and just because the media states or mentions random things about people of color doesn't mean it's true. And you voicing out and being small-minded, that you voice out your opinions, your negative stereotypical opinions towards me, saying that, yeah, it's true. I mean, Tiwa, they don't call me Tiwa at work, but Tiwa, I'm sure you can carry things on your head because it's been your training right from childhood. Just because you've seen children carrying things on their head in media advertisements doesn't mean it's applicable to everyone, and doesn't mean you should suggest that it's the same for every African child. It doesn't make sense at all. So like, it's been really hard trying to, let me say, fully integrate, because people are just some people are just small-minded and they don't know when to stop. I mean, the majority of the people that I've met so far have been really sweet, really nice. Just like when I mentioned that, yeah, there's some colleagues of mine that do not mind me speaking Denglish, especially when I am lost for words in German. And even if I'm not lost for words in German, they're accepting that sometimes I just don't want to speak German and I would like to speak in English with them. And of course, with me speaking English with them, they could better their English skills as well. Working in Germany is, I mean, it's difficult because you've got to integrate the language, the culture, the people and whatnot, but the work-hour life balance is usually quite good. It's really well balanced, work and life. You get to work when you've got to work, and you go when you are actually allowed to go. My hours are basically very flexible, so I can start whenever I want. If I want to do a 9 to 5, then I can do that. But seeing as the company actually opens up around about 6:30, I can go in at work at 7 o'clock and finish at 3:30. And of course, I'm done at 3:30 and I can still do so many activities before the daylight disappears. So that's one of the pros of working in Germany or East Germany as a foreigner, as a black woman. I also noticed that for any occasion that is going on in the company or in your department, be it your 10-year anniversary working in the company, or your birthday, or when you're going on holiday for 2 weeks. It could be basically anything. If you're celebrating your birthday, or you just want to like bring something to work just to say thank you. People usually bring cakes or like cookies or chocolate to work just to, you know, socialize at work. And since as I told you guys that I have been working in this company for a year, I did go to the supermarket and I bought a cake for everyone just to mark my year being at the company. So it was really nice for me, and this was on the 6th of March 2020, and well, I marked my year being at the company. So it's sometimes just really nice to just bring cookies to work. People would sort of like come towards you, like be attracted to you because you're portraying characteristics that you're thinking about them, and you would want to like get together, integrate, and just like chit chat. So it's not all that it's not all about work, it's all about your relationship with your colleagues and how you work together. So it's like super amazing. I've also noticed that I mean, I do get on the phones sometimes when I'm speaking with customers. They do of course tend to hear that I've got an accent whilst I'm speaking German. So it's either I've got a Nigerian accent or a British accent or even a French accent. I have had several customers comment to me, or even my colleagues, when I direct the calls to my colleagues, that yeah, the person I spoke with, is she French? And I'm wondering, where is that coming from? I do get chit chats on the phone, and it gets easier with time when you sort of know your place in the company. And the customers can sometimes be really mean. on the phone, especially if they've already been pissed off previously by God knows who. But some of them can be mean, but majority, let me say, out of 100, I would say 20% have been mean to me on the telephone, so it's not bad. But generally speaking, people are quite inquisitive about where I'm from and what languages I speak, and how they're really happy to speak with someone that has a lovely accent when speaking German. Ich weiß es nicht wirklich, ob mein German stimmt so. But yeah, so that's part of my experience of being in an all German speaking company for a year. I would say overall it's been really nice. It's really nice for you to have chilled out colleagues that you can confide in, especially when you do not have friends in the city that you're working in. Having great work colleagues that you can confide in does actually mean a lot. So you need to have people within the company that will support you and get you through your work. If you've got any questions, difficulties regarding certain things, then they will always be there to pull you through. So I'm really appreciative of that. And yeah, let's see what the future holds for me here. I don't know if there's something else I wanted to like talk about here. 1 minute. Yeah, so the dues in the 1 year that I've been working in this German company, what you want to do is to bring something on your birthday, maybe when you're going on holiday, when you are celebrating your anniversary, how many years, like depending on how many years you've worked in the company. Just, it could be for any reason. Just bring cake, cookies to work, and it will help you build your relationship better with your co-workers, your colleagues and your team members, because it's all about the relationship. The thing is, people might think Germans are always just like super direct as to what they want, but it's also about building relationships. They want to know about you, how you think, how you work and stuff like that, and it's in this moment that they get to know slightly more about you and how you're wanting to be around them, like be a team player and just like have that work relationship. And of course, I think I've mentioned this in, oh, it's one of those trains again. I think I've also mentioned it before in one of my other videos, that during lunch time, of which I still find quite weird, from round about 11 o'clock or even 10:30 in the morning, people start greeting each other with the word Mahlzeit, meaning meal time. And I still find it strange because it's always either hey, how are you doing, or Guten Tag. Between 10:30 and maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock, people greet each other with Mahlzeit, and it's not a biggie really, because you can still say Guten Tag to people, but majority of the people do say Mahlzeit. And of course, for me, I don't think it's major, because I learned this in French anyway. For people that you don't know, you've got to use the formal Z for them, and until they tell you not to use Z, you can always use du with them. So you got to find out who you can use du and who you must use Z for, because you don't want to find yourself in awkward situations whereby people are like, where do you know me from? I don't know you. Why are you talking to me like I am your mate? Kind of thing. And basically, in general, you just got to be super friendly, so you can't come too forward as I know it all within the company. You've got to be super friendly and helpful towards everyone. You can't come in as the lady that got fired, like I know it all, I know the processes, and I'm going to teach you what you've got to know. Even though you've only been in the company for like less than 2 months, you're acting like you know it all already. So you need to sort of like stay reserved, as well as being willing to work alongside in a team, because working in a team is super important for everyone. And also the don'ts of working in a German company is that you've got to be super punctual to whatever interviews that you do have or meetings. You cannot be late. It's considered rude and unprofessional. It's the fact that you have taken time from people that they can't get back, so it's unfair on your side to keep them waiting and not being punctual. You're not allowed to talk behind people's back. It's backbiting and it's not nice. Even though people do it, but in the end, when you do it, eventually somehow, somewhere along the way, people find out, and it would not look good on you. So yeah, and last but not the least, you don't want to ask your colleagues randomly within the first 6 months. You don't know them. You don't want to ask your colleagues about their private lives. I guess that's it really. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, as well as click on the notification bell so you can get notified as to when I upload new videos. And until my next video, I'm wishing you all a wonderful day. Bye. I wanted to bake one, but this past month I've literally been running on zero. Like I'm super exhausted. So I decided to buy a frozen ready-made cake. I hope they like it, but I mean, they should like it. They would appreciate the fact that I thought about it in the first place. But yeah, I'm super excited. I wonder what the next 1 year would be for me here in Germany, or in the German company.